Hello everybody and welcome to the Help to Grow Management webinar. So this webinar is just to explain a little bit about what we do here at Oxford Brookes Business School for our Help to Grow Management programme. I'm delighted to be joined on the webinar by Crantley, who is a previous participant on our programme, who's going to be able to give us some insights as to how it felt actually being part of a Help to Grow cohort. And also Nick Wake, who is one of our very experienced facilitators. So Nick will be able to provide a little bit of background and his perspective of how the programme actually works. This is very much an information session. So please, if you have questions about how the programme actually works or runs, feel free to use the chat function to drop questions in the chat, or just take yourself off mute if you're happy to do that and ask questions as we're going along. So just in terms of what we're going to cover in the next half an hour, obviously I've just done the introductions and welcomes. I'm just going to spend 2 minutes talking a little bit about what we do here at Oxford Brookes Business School and how we work with businesses, and then focus very much on the Help to Grow programme. And as I said, this is very much an information session, so please do make sure that you've got all the answers to any questions that you have as we go through. So my role in the business school is I'm the Associate Dean for Professional Education and Business Engagement. So at the business school, we're really proud of how we work with local businesses in the local community. We obviously, alongside supporting business, we have undergraduate and postgraduate programs, and we conduct research and consultancy. But supporting businesses is really part of our core mission. So our mission is to transform lives through insight, and that is what we want to do with businesses too. So the ways in which we work with businesses, we provide business support programs such as Help to Grow, but we also we help our students work with businesses too. So for all our students on our undergraduate and postgraduate programs, we hope that they will have an experience of working with a real business. So that's a lot about client projects, consultancy projects where students are involved working with businesses. They're obviously not let loose on businesses completely unaccompanied. So they are supervised through those projects. So you have access to academic expertise if you engage with our students. But the focus of today, as I said, is the Help to Grow Management programme. So what is it? So the Help to Grow Management programme is a 12-week programme that is aimed at leaders who are looking to develop their strategic skills, their management skills, in order to drive their business forward. So it is thinking about growth. It is talking about help grow. But that sense of growing your business is very much about how you want to grow your business. There's not a prescription in terms of expected growth in revenue or expected growth in terms of the number of people you employ. It's about giving yourself time to think about what your plans are for the future and how you see your business develop over that time. So it's very much about developing a growth plan, and we talk about our growth action plan quite a lot through the programme. But this programme developed out of and after the pandemic. So there's a little bit in here about improving resilience, thinking about making sure your business is strong to move forward, and thinking about how innovation, and particularly digital innovation, might shape the future. So recognising that digital innovation, and particularly there's a lot of discussion at the moment around thinking about how AI might be harnessed in different settings to innovate and change the way businesses are working. We also cover and look at employee engagement, recognising that No business is going to survive and grow without actually taking its team with it. And we look at the building blocks of marketing and finance through the programme too. So at this point, I'm just going to turn to Kranti and just say, in terms of what we covered on the programme, was it what you expected, and the content, was it what you needed?
Hi, yes, I'm Kranti, and along with my husband and small family, we run a family jewelry business, and it's a bricks and mortar business. And so, what I was looking for was support to help transition the business online, and to make the online business as profitable as the bricks and mortar. So the course came to me at a really pivotal time. I'd just joined the business after a long career in marketing and medical imaging, and it's been great because in even though it was almost a whistle stop tour in every area, it gave me support, and in places where I didn't actually think I needed it, which I thought was very insightful.
And Nick, just think from what you've seen of the various cohorts that you've facilitated, how do you find that people, feel about the content?
Well, the content is very, very rich for a start, and extensive. So what I think you find is that different delegates take what they want from that content. Some weeks will be more relevant than other weeks, but the volume is really substantial, and it's extremely high quality, delivered by tutors who are experts in their subject areas. And on top of the webinar delivery, or the learning delivery, there's also a great opportunity for the delegates to learn from each other, which is one of the most valuable elements of the program. And they even get support from a mentor as well, that is assigned during the early stages of the program, that they can form a relationship with and really dive deeply into the areas that they're particularly interested in. So yeah, I consider it a real privilege being able to facilitate on this program. You meet such interesting people, and I guess that's why I've been doing it for over 3 years now.
Yeah. And meeting interesting people and the richness of the group learning, I think in part comes because there's lots of different sectors in the same room. So this is a real opportunity to work with leaders in businesses across a range of different sectors. And on screen there, you can see some of the sectors that have been involved in the past. And I personally, as I watch learning happening, and I teach the finance module, you really do see the swapping of ideas around different sectors. And whilst everybody as an SME leader has a network, and they're obviously very keyed into their networks, the opportunity to extend that network into like-minded people in different sorts of sectors often proves to be really rich. So just to explain in a little bit more detail how the programme is structured. So we have 4 areas in the blocks that are on the right-hand side of the screen. So you can see in block 1, we're looking at strategies for growth and innovation. And the first areas that we look at are strategy and innovation, and then we look at digital transformation. And they're in the sort of orangey peachy colour. Those 2 modules are delivered as online sessions. There is a 2-hour session once a week, and that is delivered, as Nick said, by one of the subject matter experts from Oxford Brookes Business School. The third session, which is in the green colour, is a face-to-face case study. So this is a longer session. It's held on Oxford Brookes Business School premises, so the Headington campus, and it's an opportunity to continue to explore the ideas of the blocks, the strategies for growth and innovation, but dive a bit deeper into some practical examples. So that's the case study. Then we move on to the next block, and we've got engaging with customers. So we're talking about vision, mission and values. Again, that becomes an online session. And then we have a case study at the end of that block. So each 3-week block has a 2-hour online teaching session, a 2-hour online teaching session, and then a 4-hour face-to-face case study. In the weeks where we have a 2-hour teaching session, we also include the peer calls. So peer calls are where we take the cohort of leaders, break down into smaller sets of maybe 4 or 5 people, and they have a call that lasts about an hour to think about how the information that was provided in the taught session has an impact in their business. So it's thinking through, what does this mean for my business? And so if I just then turn to Kranti again and just say, in terms of the peer calls, how valuable did you find those?
Extremely. I think what was key for me is that the networking element of it was brilliant, and I found that I was interacting with the same people I was meeting with on that bi-weekly basis, and it formed, I think, hopefully lifelong relationships. And I think the parallels between different businesses also really helped, because although there wasn't an exact almost exact scenario, I learned so much from other businesses that I would never have been able to learn from, and people as well. So, and the peer calls basically broke them up, because the face-to-face meetings were not so often. It meant that we can keep connected online, and that really helped.
And Nick, as the person that manages those peer calls, what do you see through those?
Yeah, I love facilitating them, because it's a smaller group, anywhere between 3 to 5 people normally. So everybody gets a little more floor space. And as Kranti's just said, it's an opportunity to listen to your peers, really go deep into what the topic of the week actually means in their business. And in doing that, you're able to, the other people in the room are able to draw parallels with their own businesses. So people get to learn from each other and really take away practical ideas to develop their own businesses. So yeah, works really well. You really get to know, a real opportunity to get to know the delegates and their businesses, and from my perspective, a chance to stimulate their thinking. So yeah, I think it's a vital and much prized part of the program.
Absolutely. And that last bullet point, where it's the extra resource beyond the course, they were the words of one of our very earliest participants in one of the first few cohorts we ran. And I think, that person's still in touch with the people that they were in the peer call with. So yeah, it really is that opportunity for further support. Another way, and we've mentioned it already, that the programme provides additional support is mentoring. So through Help to Grow Management, you have the opportunity to access 10 hours of one-to-one mentoring. So the rationale for this is that you've got a programme that has provided knowledge. The peer calls have had the opportunity to think about, what does that mean in the business in a small group? And then we move into the mentoring, where it's very much about supporting how you, as a business leader, are going to take action to move your growth plan forward. Now, the mentoring is organised by an organisation that's external to Oxford Brookes Business School. It's called Enterprise Nation, and it works across all the Help to Grow management programmes that are running across the country. But Kranti, you said you're still in touch with your mentor, so just tell us a little bit about mentoring.
Yeah, so I started my mentoring almost like halfway through the program, so not right from the start because it was, although I had the facilities, I felt like I needed a bit of time to work out where I needed support. And the website is great. I mean, you can find the right person for your business at the time, and they come with very many different expertise from finance to marketing to, you know, operations. And I found a mentor who has a strong background in exactly the field I'm working in jewelry. And you know, in digital marketing, and somebody who's done it all before, and you know, albeit at a grander scale. And I think our relationship is great. I'm pretty sure he's also learning lots from our business too, which is you know, nice to hear. And I'm looking forward to continuing that relationship beyond the 10 weeks as well. So wonderful.
So the mentoring, as I say, for Help to Grow Management, that's 10 hours of mentoring is provided. You can access that any point after week 3 in the program. And it is possible to access the mentoring for a period of time after the program finishes. And then obviously it's up to mentors and businesses whether they choose to continue that relationship. But again, one of the things that is really commented on about from people who really value the opportunity to have that support as they begin to try and implement the ideas that they've picked up through the program. So we've mentioned growth plans a couple of times, and I just wanted to offer that reassurance at the beginning of the session that growth is how you define it. So we are looking at, we're looking to help you think about how you take action. You understand some of the information that's providing, you're taking action, you're supported through that journey through your mentoring and the peer calls, but it is growth as you define it. So growth plans can come in lots of different shapes and sizes. So we've got on screen here an example of a spreadsheet that we introduce that is a sort of very quite detailed way of thinking about how you might implement some of the ideas from the program. But equally, people utilize the information and the ideas from the program in their own strategic planning processes. So a couple of people have said to me, this has been fantastic because we're doing our strategic planning at the moment, and it dovetails with businesses' own strategic planning practices. But equally, we have a growth plan that's a plan on a page. So it's the equivalent of, you know, sort of a very simple idea of, you know, these are the things I want to focus on. The growth plans aren't in any way assessed. Oxford Brookes Business School doesn't have sight of them. It's just the means by which you can think about how you're going to take some of the ideas and the learning forward. So just now to provide a little bit of a summary of exactly how all this fits together, because we have sort of described various pieces. So you can see on this table, we start with week 0 where we have an introduction session. So we do an onboarding induction type session. And then in the first 2 weeks, so week 1 and week 2, it's the 2-hour online session. And then sometime else in the week, there is a peer call. On the 3rd week, it's a face-to-face workshop session that's held on Headington campus. And then in the 5th week, we're back to 4th and 5th weeks, we're back to online sessions and peer calls. One of the questions people often ask is, what happens if I miss something? You know, life happens, businesses happen, we totally get that. All of our online sessions are recorded. And so you have the opportunity to listen to, watch the recording and catch up in that way. You can join the peer call having not attended the online session. You know, you might want to have a quick look at the material first, but it's perfectly possible. There might be times when you can't manage to make the peer call. That's absolutely fine. We aren't in a position, and we do not record the face-to-face workshops because they're a bit more discursive. They're happening in person on campus. So those ones, it's more difficult to catch up. But you always have access to the material. So the Help to Grow management program is hosted in a virtual learning environment. You have access to that environment, and you have access to the materials for a year once you've taken the program. And Nick mentioned that the quality of the materials is good. I mean, the quality of the content is rich. It is good. And we do say to people, look, you know, the slides are there. You can use whatever you want. So if there's parts of a workbook or a particular slide that you think that's great, I can use that with my leadership team, or I can use that in that team meeting or a board meeting or whatever. That's what the materials are there for. So you have access to all of that. Cranty, is there anything you would say about the materials and being able to access the material online?
Yeah, I would just say that, you know, I found that the sessions, the face-to-face sessions, they're you know, the material there that was shared there is actually quite heavy in that it's a lot to take in, and sometimes you need time to absorb it. And so often I used to take you know, take that as a starting point and then revisit sessions after. And sometimes I found actually now that the course is over, I go back, like you said, and pull things up and print them out and mark them out in the traditional way. I still do that. So yes, it's still very useful.
Oh, brilliant. And that's what we want to provide. We want to provide a resource for you as business leaders, so that you can take your understanding and what your plans in terms of that growth journey into the business and make that as accessible to everybody else in the business. So once you've completed the program, you then join the Help to Grow Alumni Network, which is both national, regional and local. So we do offer at Oxford Brookes Business School some alumni events, which we do. Some are online, some are face-to-face. There's a national newsletter. There's national events that tend to be digital, tend to be online. So you can stay engaged in that way. And through joining the Help to Grow management program at Oxford Brookes Business School, you also have access to the Oxford Brookes Enterprise Centre. So within the university, we do have an enterprise centre, which is, you know, some co-working space, some lab space, access, again, it's access to expertise, be it students, academics, people who are there to support businesses who are looking to innovate and grow. And you know, there's vouchers available from the team. There are some limited spaces is limited, but we've never really had a problem. So if that's something you want to access, that's available too. So for the final sort of 5 minutes, I was just going to explain what the eligibility criteria are. So in order to be eligible to join the Help to Grow management program, you need to be the leader of a registered business. So it's a business that is registered at Companies House and has been in existence for more than 1 year. You need to be employing a minimum of 5 people. And if you have 5 to 9 employees, then 1 person can join the Help to Grow management program. If you have over 10 employees, then you can send 2 people from the business to the Help to Grow management program. Now, that might be that people attend different cohorts, or it might be that 2 people from the business attend the same cohort. And that's very much a business's own personal choice as to what works for them. In terms of what it costs, well, this is a program that is funded by HM Treasury, so it's Treasury funded, government funded. There is usually a cost of £750 per person, which represents 10% of the cost of the program. But this has been reduced to 0 through the university's Business Support Fund. So the cost to you of joining the Help to Grow management program at Oxford Brookes is 0. So there is no cost to joining the program. We have 2 cohorts starting next academic year. We've got a cohort that is starting on the 12th of September and a cohort that is starting on the 6th of November. So for the September cohort, the calls, the online learning and the workshops will be on Wednesdays, and on the cohort that starts on Thursday, the 6th of November, that's on a Thursday. Peer calls, we've yet to decide exactly when the peer calls will be happening. So can I just then, as we finish, ask Kranti and then Nick just to give us one final reflection on what their experience of Help to Grow management's been.
I would say that yeah, it's been a real insightful help and it has already impacted our business in many different ways. It's helped me to think in different ways as well, and connect with great people, other great people that have joined the course, and together it's like we're on a mission to grow our businesses thanks to this program.
And Nick?
Yeah, I would say the proof is in the pudding. I've seen dozens of businesses go on and thrive as a result of being on this program, as a result of sending senior execs on the program, and it's a real joy for me following their progress on LinkedIn. There's literally dozens of names that are floating through my head now, where it's such a joy and a thrill to see them reporting on such fantastic progress on the LinkedIn platform. So yeah, I would say if you can make the time, this is a truly fantastic program to sign up for.
And I would just reflect that I've been working at Oxford Brookes Business School for over 15 years, and I've seen some of the best learning I've ever seen in the Help to Grow programs that we've run. It's an absolute pleasure to be part of facilitating learning in such a supportive environment, because the overriding sense you get is it's leaders wanting to help leaders manage their businesses to be the best businesses that they can be. So if that has inspired you, and you can find out, the QR code on screen will take you to our web pages. There's more information there. If we haven't answered any questions, I'm just checking in the chat. So I'm just going to try and get the chat to. So Mona, is there anything? I can't make the chat work. Is there anything in the chat there that we need to answer?
No questions to answer in the chat. I just popped the cohort links, our website, and our email address in there. So
fantastic. Thank you. If you do have any questions, then our email address, OBBS, Oxford Brookes Business School -BE, Business External Engagement, is our email address. So email the B team, as we're known, and we can answer any questions that you've got. We really hope that this programme is of interest, and if it is, please do sign up for either September or November. My final thanks go to Kranti and Nick for both joining us today and offering their insights into what we do. So thank you all, and have a good rest of day.